When Victoria's Royal Commission made its findings into Black Saturday's bushfires, one of its criticisms was that there was no technology to predict where the fatal fires were heading. 7:30 Victoria can reveal the Country Fire Authority developed a world-first fire prediction system in the early 1990s. But just as that program was ready to get up and running, it was shut down, and the CFA can't explain why. James Panichi reports.
On days like Black Saturday, the weather rules supreme. Knowing the direction of the wind and having up-to-date information on wind changes is vital information for firefighters on the ground. On the 7th of February 2009, the CFA had no predictive technology in place, and it still doesn't. The Royal Commission was told that at the height of the fire, CFA experts were using so-called mud maps, often unreliable hand-drawn charts.
Are you aware of any predictive map being produced by the CFA concerning for the Kilmore East Fire?
No, CFA didn't produce any predictive maps of the Kilmore East Fire other than the mud maps that I've been referring to.
Why not?
We don't have within CFA very many qualified fire behaviour analysts who either have the skills or the time to produce those sorts of documents.
And that remained the CFA's defence throughout the Royal Commission. There was neither the expertise nor the technology available to predict the course of the Black Saturday fires.
To assume that we have the capability of giving that information to people with our current technology and our current systems is a very difficult thing to do.
So while on Black Saturday the CFA command had plenty of weather information, it didn't have what's known as predictive technology. There was no CFA computer program like this, one which could display a model of where the fires were heading and how fast they would spread. What the Commission wasn't told was that 15 years earlier, the CFA had in fact been leading the world in developing predictive computer technology.
It was in operation. It was the best in the world, better than Spain, better than the USA.
I don't know what's happened with it since.
In the late 1980s, Michael Whelan was a CFA officer heading up a special unit called the Fire Management Department.
We were working on a range of projects. One of those was to improve the weather information, real-time weather information we were receiving to allow us to better map the spread of fire.
In 1990, the unit developed a computer-based display system which would provide a detailed map updating weather information in real time. But it soon became apparent that the technology was capable of more. The unit found that it was getting close to the holy grail of firefighting, the ability to predict the course of a fire.
The CFA's always done that, but they've done it with handheld models and those sorts of things, and there have been extrapolations. We were looking to get a computer model that would help do those extrapolations over a number of hours to better aid the warning of the public ahead of those fires.
High winds and high temperature.
In the early 1990s, the special unit was disbanded, but the predictive system was close to completion. In fact, in 1994, the system was made public on Network 10's Beyond 2000 program.
Numbers.
It will not only help predict the shape and path of a fire, but also the safety and evacuation measures that might need to be put into action.
I was incredibly proud that I'd been associated with that project and that it had come to fruition and was operational.
But the Beyond 2000 program would be the last anyone would hear about the life-saving technology. It simply disappeared, and people within the CFA now admit that the project was discontinued. So there was no predictive technology in place either for the 1998 Linton bushfires, in which 5 CFA volunteers died, or the devastating Black Saturday fires 10 years later. What happened to that project? Did that not develop?
I can't answer that question because I don't know. I wasn't here and haven't researched that at the time.
But does it sound feasible that there might have been this kind of technology available, something that was predicted?
Certainly the algorithms and the behaviour rules, if you will, have been around for quite a while, and systemising those is often not a straightforward exercise, but is possible. Where it is at in that regard, I don't know.
The Royal Commission found that the predictive mapping available to the CFA on Black Saturday was inadequate. The charts were hand-drawn and ultimately too unreliable for the CFA command to have much interest in.
Was anything done, to your knowledge, at the IECC to predict the course of the Kilmore East fire?
I believe I was not aware of on the day. I believe that some fire behaviour people in the IECC made a map that showed some progression of that fire. I did not see it on the day.
I think the Victorian taxpayer, for a start, and the Victorian public have a right to know what was achieved and a right to ask the question, why wasn't it in place?
The CFA responded to the Royal Commission by developing what appears to be a totally new predictive modelling program called EIMS. But the fate of the original technology and why the CFA buried the project remains a mystery.
I can't comment on the rationale as to why that has or has not developed. All I can comment on is the fact that today we have this capability and that the EIMS Mapper product that's been developed within CFA is providing a lot better quality information to our incident teams.